Muy buenos días a todos.
Well, good morning, all of
Quiero
you. I would like to start off
dándole nuevamente la más cordial
by
bienvenida
extending the most cordial
al señor
welcome
vicepresidente
to
de los
the
Estados
Vice
Unidos,
President
Joe
of the
Biden.
United States, Mr. Joe Biden.
El vicepresidente Biden ha
Vice
sido un gran
President
amigo de
Biden has been
Colombia,
a great friend of
no de ahora,
Colombia's,
sino desde
not
hace
just from
muchísimo
now,
tiempo,
but for a long
desde
time.
que era
Ever
presidente de
since
la
he
Comisión
was the
de Relaciones
chairman
Exteriores
of
del
the
Senado
Foreign Relations
norteamericano,
Committee at the Senate
siempre
in the
estuvo
United States. He was
presente
always
en todas las circunstancias
there
que tenían que ver con
in all the
Colombia, siempre estuvo
circumstances
apoyándonos.
that regarded Colombia. He
Recuerdo
always supported us.
muy bien
And I remember when he came, when we launched the Colombia Plan in Cartagena.
ahora pues nos
Well,
visita por
now
segunda
he
vez
is
como
visiting
vicepresidente.
us for the second time as Vice
Estuvo
President
aquí
because
en
he was here
mayo
in
del año
May
pasado.
last
De manera
year.
que
So that,
bienvenido, señor
welcome,
vicepresidente.
Mr. Vice President.
Quiero comenzar
I would like to start
por
off
felicitarlo
congratulating you because
Allá en
of the soccer match in Brazil.
Espero que
2-1, the United States won, and I hope
tenga
that
ese buen desempeño.
your
Nosotros estamos en lo
team
mismo.
goes on. I think we're
Mañana
also
estamos
struggling, and
enfrentándonos
tomorrow we're going to have
otro
to
gran equipo
face
Costa Rica,
another
donde
big
también
team,
esperamos
the Ivory Coast,
triunfar.
where we also hope to
Hemos
be
tenido una
winners.
reunión
We've had
larga,
a long
muy
meeting
fructífera,
this morning, a very
hemos hecho un
fruitful
repaso
one, where
de
we
la agenda que
looked
tenemos
at
nosotros
the
con
agenda,
Estados
at the
Unidos,
program that we
ratificando
have with the United
que
States,
Colombia
ratifying the
se
fact that
siente
Colombia
muy honrada de
is
ser
very
un
proud
socio
to be a
estratégico para
strategic
Estados Unidos.
partner with the
Estados Unidos
United
es no
States. The
solamente
United
nuestro
States not
primer socio
only are
comercial,
our
sino
first
que tenemos
trade
muchos comunes
partner, but we
denominadores
have many
con los
common
cuales
denominators.
hemos venido
We've
trabajando
been
y
working on all
la
these
agenda con
common
Estados Unidos ha
denominators,
ido
and our agenda with the
ampliando.
United
Mi
States
visita
has
a
become
Washington
larger and larger.
presidente
During my
Obama,
visit to Washington,
introdujimos
when
en
I
la
saw
agenda
President Obama,
temas
we
que
introduced
nos
topics
unen
that
no solamente en la
unite
relación
us
bilateral,
not
sino en la
only in
relación con
bilateral
el resto de
relations,
la
but with the
región.
rest of the region
Estuvimos
as well.
analizando y
We
repasando todos
analyzed
estos
and
asuntos,
we
el
went
tema
through all these
energético
topics, the
que
energy
estamos
item
trabajando
which
juntos,
we've been working
no
on
solamente
together,
para desarrollar
not
nuestras
only
propias
to
tecnologías,
develop our own
sacar el
technologies
mejor provecho
in order
de esos
to
recursos, sino
be able
porque
to get
podemos
the
también
utmost
tener
out
una
of these
posición eficaz a
resources
nivel
and
regional,
see
que es
how
muy importante.
on a regional basis we can work
Quiero
with our
también
energy in a more
agradecerle al
efficient
señor
and
vicepresidente
rational
y al
manner. I would
gobierno
like to
norteamericano
thank
porque
Mr.
hace
Vice
una
President
semana
and the
se
American
inició
government because
el
only a
proceso
week ago we
a
started
través de la
the process
constitución de un
through
comité
which the constitution of
sobre
a commission
lo que llaman
on
la
what is
visa
called
waiver, es
the
decir, para
visa
quitarnos las
waiver,
visas
so
a
that we
los
can
colombianos.
get rid of the
Es un proceso
visas
que
for
tiene
Colombian
unos
nationals. This is a
procedimientos
process that
y toma
requires certain
bastante tiempo,
procedures that will
pero hace
require
una semana
a
ya se
certain
inició
amount
ese
of
proceso,
time. But a week
me
ago, we
parecería
started this
para
process,
nosotros un paso
which for
muy
us is
importante.
obviously a very important step.
También hicimos
I'd also like
eh,
to
un repaso
point
sobre los
out
temas
that we
de
spoke about the
seguridad
topics
que
regarding
nos han unido
security,
bastante
and
tiempo.
these are topics that
Ahí
have united us
seguimos
over a long
colaborando
period of time.
no
We keep on
solamente
working on all this,
bilateralmente,
not
sino
only on
frente
a
a
bilateral
terceros países.
level, but
Tenemos varios
in terms
programas
of third
en que
countries, we have a
estamos
number
trabajando
of
juntos
programs
para
where we have been
ofrecer
working
ayuda y
together to
cooperación
offer help,
en materia
aid,
de seguridad,
cooperation in
lucha
matters
contra el
pertaining
narcotráfico
to
de
security,
varios países
the
de
struggle
Centroamérica,
against
del
drug
Caribe.
trafficking in various Central
También
American
tocamos el
countries, the
tema
Caribbean. And we also
tecnológico,
talked about
el tema de la
technology.
educación,
We talked
un
about
tema que yo personalmente
education,
toqué
which
con el
is something
presidente
that I personally
Obama
broached with
cuando estuvo en
President
Washington,
Obama
que
when I
nosotros
was in
nos
Washington.
interesa
We, of
enormemente.
course, are
Hicimos un
hugely
repaso
interested in this,
de
and
la
we also
evolución
went through
del
the
Tratado de Libre
evolution
Comercio.
of the free trade agreement.
El tratado se va
This
avanzando en la
agreement
dirección
is
correcta. Cada
advancing.
vez
I
hay más
think it
empresas
is
colombianas
going in
que
the
están
right
exportando
direction. There
hacia
are
Estados
more and more
Unidos y
Colombian companies that are exporting to the United States and vice versa. So, as we had forecasted, this is a so-called win-win situation for both our countries. Both our countries are reaping the benefits of this trade agreement. I would also like to thank Vice President Biden and the American government for their support for the peace process. This has been reiterated. It's a very important step for us. They know that we are in a very delicate phase, very delicate stage, and we consider all this an immensely important aspect. And through institutions like the USAID and we are receiving help, aid, in order to elaborate politics that will deal with the post-conflict period. And I'd also like to welcome the ambassador, who also presented the credentials last week, Mr. Kevin Whitaker. We want to thank you, and we are willing to keep on working with your government, Mr. Vice President. I also want to tell you that this alliance, this friendship with the United States is something which is hugely important for me. Personally, it is. And as always, in any relationship, there's always a margin to strengthen it, and that's what I wish to do now that I have my new mandate. I want to strengthen our relationship with the United States, an allied country. We consider the United States our friend, and we consider the United States a country that we can work with on many fronts, both with the American citizens as well as for the Colombian citizens. Thank you once again, Mr. Vice President, and welcome to Colombia.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. We've been acquaintances for a long time, and congratulations. Congratulations to you personally on your reelection. Congratulations to your security forces who made this one of Colombia's safest elections in history. And congratulations, maybe most importantly, to the Colombian people who kept faith through some difficult times to become the oldest uninterrupted democracy in South America. No small feat, and congratulations to you all. And thank you for your congratulations for the United States team winning in Natal. We're in a pretty tough division, and we're not accustomed over the last 30 years to be expecting to do well like you always do. But we're very hopeful, and we're looking forward to the rest of the games. You know, I came here just 3 days after your reelection, and because the president, through me, wanted to send to you and to the people of Colombia an unmistakable message. The United States of America always stands with Colombia. And your last comment about wanting to continue to build this relationship, which is already strong, is a central element of our policy. And we strongly, strongly agree with your assertion. And thanks to Colombia's remarkable progress under the leadership of Presidents Santos and Obama, our relationship has broadened on many fronts: trade and investment, which can even grow beyond what it has, energy and environment, human rights, political and security cooperation, all across the hemisphere. And that's what was reflected in my conversations with the President today. Mr. President, your country has an absolutely genuine leadership position. You founded the Pacific Alliance, which is taking a very ambitious approach, which we look at with admiration, on integrating the open market economies in the region. It's a very important example to set, not just in the hemisphere, but around the world. And more progress can be made as Colombia continues to raise labor standards, environmental protections, and human rights, and greater opportunities will be open to connect the global economies, and particularly the growing markets in the Pacific. And so, Mr. President, we look forward to continuing to work with you on these issues, and your leadership is very much appreciated. And President and I also spoke about events in the Western Hemisphere. And as I've noted before, Colombia is a nation transformed through an awful lot of blood, sacrifice, and genuine leadership. And its role in the hemisphere has grown accordingly. And from my perspective, I see no reason why it will not continue to grow for the benefit of the hemisphere. Today, President Santos and I spoke about how our countries can work together together with the island nations of the Caribbean on energy and on security. And I will be discussing these challenges when I leave here tonight, tomorrow in the Dominican Republic with the Dominican Republic with President Medina. Colombia's efforts can benefit the entire region, and I think President Santos, I thank him for his leadership, his reference to Panama, the ability to begin to make progress that everyone's envisioned for some time. And President Santos and I also spoke about the dialogue in Venezuela, and I laid out the U.S. position. And finally, we spoke of Colombia's peace process. As the President mentioned, I had the honor for many years in the United States Senate to help write and shepherd through Plan Colombia through the United States Senate. And nothing would make me happier, Mr. President, than to come back to Colombia for the signing of a final peace accord. And I know there's a lot left to do, but I have absolute confidence in your determination, and I'm confident whatever is ultimately agreed to, God willing, will be for the benefit of the Colombian people. As I told you here in Bogota last spring, just as the United States has supported Colombia's leaders on the battlefield over the years, we fully support you and at the negotiating table to end the country's 50-year conflict, to bring that to an end. In war and peace, Mr. President, we stand with Colombia. And as Colombians walk the last mile to the road of peace, on the road of peace, as they defined for themselves the terms, and as they strike the right balance for peace and justice, the United States will stand with you to support you. Mr. President, I want to thank you for a terrific meeting. I always learn something when I'm with you. I think it deepens our personal relationship, but also we share the same passion for making sure that this relationship between Colombia and the United States continues to grow as Colombia's influence in the hemisphere and also its overall influence continues to grow. So I thank you for a terrific meeting. I congratulate you and the Colombian people again on a well-run election and your victory, and Godspeed carrying forward the dreams of the Colombian people. And, so I, again, thank you, and I look forward to many more meetings.